We are starting this video right now just after our second Raw on Netflix ended, and we seen matches of the likes of Finn Balor versus Damian Priest in the main event. We seen the Women's Intercontinental Championship go on with Lyra Valkyria coming out on top versus Dakota Kai. We seen Sheamus, Ludwig Kaiser. A lot of good matches happened tonight. However, the most important one, the most talked about one, the best match of the night, the coolest moment of the night is all gonna revolve around Penta showing up in WWE. A very huge moment with the perfect opponent and Chad Gable. And yeah, definitely had my mind blown. But what are your first thoughts on Penta showing up in WWE?
Immediately, the presentation was immaculate. I think they did a great job. Obviously, with the theme song, we knew it would have to have some type of Sierra Miedo in it. But I think the actual kind of style and the vibe of it is kind of nice. It kind of fits the style, like a little darker, more, I guess, rock loop or just like a rock theme kind of sound to it. But yeah, just the visuals of them is similar to AEW, which is really nice. I think that was a big thing for them, is that how much would WWE dilute them going forward with in-ring visuals and everything involved. But I think they hit the spot perfectly with them.
Yeah, he came back, and I mean, we've seen all the moves that you would want to see from a Penta match. We've seen the big arm breaker as the finisher. We've seen the Mexican Destroyer. We've seen his move that he does a lot with when he's in the turnbuckle and he does the little backbreaker. I forget what he calls it, but he has a specific move for it. But he does that very often. But he basically brought out his full move, as well as the Penta driver or something like that. But yeah, he basically had his full move set. He looked amazing. The match was amazing. Chad Gable sold like it was Shawn Michaels in '98 or something. Penta as well was kind of maybe a little bit overselling the leg a little bit, but he did very well. But yeah, one of my matches of the year. I'm keeping a short tab of like as matches go throughout this year. I'm gonna keep a tab of them. That way, when we do our rewards at the end of the year, I'll have like a better understanding of what matches I need to kind of lock in on to maybe do my picks, and it'll kind of help us out with videos as well. But this is definitely going up there, and it's the only match on the list aside from the Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd match we just seen at Wrestle Dynasty. So yeah, one of a great match. I do hope all of y'all watched it, because if you didn't, you definitely should.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I think I'm trying to talk about, because I know we're talking about it a lot in this video, but Chad Gable, I think, did a phenomenal job of playing the part tonight. He got a lot of offense in, which I was very surprised. I kind of thought, this could be a 5-10 minute match, and Penta's just getting all his offense in, and that's it. But they let Chad Gable do his thing. He got in all his big moves, and yeah, he just did phenomenal. And so I just want to give him his credits as well, because he's somebody that was red hot last year, and unfortunately that kind of died down. But hopefully this is big things for him for being one of the best workers in the company. But to Penta, yeah, everything about this was amazing. Like you said, all the moves were just as you would seen in AEW. He brought that here, which was really nice. It was really cool to see his family in the front row, and just all the emotions through the entire family. And then his promo afterwards was really nice as well. Just thanking everybody, calling WWE his new home. I think that was really cool. But yeah, you can tell this means a lot for him, and he's really excited for what is in his future. And hopefully there's a lot of big things coming up for him.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he came out, the whole crowd was chanting Zero Miero, and it was a very cool just moment for him, and I'm glad that he was excited. But we previously, before recording, we talked about matches we want to see, so I'll kind of let you start off on some of the matches that you would like to see.
Yeah, so for my first match I want to see with Penta is a man we've seen tonight wrestle, and that is Sheamus. Sheamus is not your high flyer by any means. He's a brawler, but he's a hard-hitting brawler, which is something that Penta usually can do well with. I think him and Sheamus can have a nice physical match. Penta can try the high-flying offense, but Sheamus, with his hard-hitting, will that counter the high-flying moves, or will the speed of Penta just be too much for Sheamus to get the win in that match?
Yeah, and my first pick is another person who just main evented on the same Monday Night Raw that he debuted in, and that's Finn Balor. I think he's just somebody who we could just put on a great match with. I mean, someone could put on a great match with pretty much anybody. Same thing with Penta as well. And I think that would be an amazing match, a hard-hitting match, and I'd love to see kind of what the result of that match would be.
Yeah, and for my next one, I had Gunther as well. Similar to Sheamus, obviously the hard-hitting, but also I think the promo would be really nice from Gunther, just because Gunther's not afraid to talk shit to you. Tonight on Raw, we've seen him call Jey Uso, "You're very talented, you're very energetic, you're very entertaining, but you're not a good wrestler," pretty much what he said. But Gunther obviously can't say he's not a good wrestler, because obviously Penta is still, but it would just be nice to see what Gunther would do in that match.
Yeah, and another person I have is someone who's very similar to Chad Gable's kind of style, and that's Braun Breaker. He's your current Intercontinental Champion, and I think that his style would mesh very well with Penta because we just kind of seen that with Chad Gable. They're somewhat similar, minus the kind of submission moves and whatnot. Yeah, I think that would be an amazing match, and it'd be very cool to see Penta potentially hold the IC title.
Yeah, and also I had Sami Zayn as well. Different because he is somebody who can do those high flying moves, but he can also be a bit more physical as well. I think Sami's just one of those guys who can pretty much blend with any style of wrestling, and he can do it pretty much fantastic. He can do the technical, he can do the high flying, he can do the hard hitting, brawling stuff. So I think Sami can just have a really good match, and I think it would be really fun to see what they can come up with in that ring.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But now we're moving on to another luchador and Dragon Lee. I think from OG luchador as Penta is, he's been around for a very long time, and he deserves everything that he has right now. But maybe, you know, towards the end or something like that, he could, you know, pass the flowers on to Dragon Lee and let him kind of carry on in WWE and put him over a bit and help him out in some sort of way, whether it be against them, with them, whatever. But I think that'd be very good for Dragon Lee.
Yeah, for me, a guy that I'm pretty sure we did see a match between them in AEW, but Andrade. I think they have some history with each other, so you can maybe even play into that here. They probably want to obviously acknowledge this stuff in AEW, but I just think they can have a really good match. Andrade can do the high-flying stuff, but he's a bit more of like a Sheamus in a way, where he still does the more hard-hitting moves instead of the high, flashy moves. He can still do that, and he does bring that out occasionally.
And up next, I have Seth Rollins, just your workhorse. Basically everything I said about Finn Balor you could apply to Seth Rollins, just your workhorse. Put him in the ring, he'll have a good match with anybody, and yeah, I think it would just be an amazing match in general, one that people would look forward to.
Yeah, and then for me, for my final one, I went with Dominic Mysterio. Now, we've seen Dominic obviously work with Ray, and he's worked with Santos, I believe, and Dragon Lee now, but don't think he's worked with somebody like Penta. I think he just attests him against one of the best luchadors that's still going. Obviously, Dragon Lee's phenomenal, but in those matches, we didn't get the full, the full moveset of a Dragon Lee. But hopefully, if he were going into Penta, maybe we could see that on a Monday Night Raw, or even on a PLE. I think that would be a great match as well.
Yeah. Before our final one on our top 10, I have Kevin Owens, just hard hitting. I think their movesets would match perfectly. I think that match would have to have some sort of stipulation on to get the true quality out of a Kevin Owens Penta match. But I think that'd be an amazing, hard hitting, brutal match that they would put each other a lot through in that match. But yeah, that is our top 10 matches that we have for Penta in WWE. But yeah, any final thoughts that you have for Penta just showing up? I mean, like we said, everything was amazing with his debut and all that, but anything else you want to kind of mention that we forgot?
No, I mean, just Penta is, I think, after tonight, and I've seen what I've seen for the first time, obviously this is his big debut, so of course they're going to do things bigger than what they normally do, but I'm just hoping that WWE keeps up the presentation of him, and they make sure that he isn't just going to fall to another guy on the roster. I think there's a lot of guys who are very talented but aren't in that spotlight just yet, and I hope he isn't going to be one of those guys, but I think I have the confidence now in WWE to say, alright, they should be good with him, and he'll be viewed as a top guy and a real contender all the time.
Yeah, but yeah, as we said, Penta, he's amazing. If you don't know a lot about him, go back and watch his stuff in Lucha Underground and AEW, and he's wrestled a ton of places.
Even TNA as well.
Yeah, literally everywhere. Anywhere you decide to watch wrestling at, he's probably has done matches there. As well as WWE, I believe. He's done one or two things in the past, maybe as like a side character or something like that. But yeah, Penta is now part of WWE, well deserved, well earned. And now the question we all have as we end this video is, when does Rey Fenix show up?
Yeah, I mean, we did get an announcement. I don't know if it's official or like what this really means, but a lot of Rey Fenix's merchandise was removed from the AEW and the Pro Wrestling Tees website, so maybe that can be a good sign if you're wanting Rey Fenix in WWE. And I kind of believe that might have something to do with him being maybe officially done sooner rather than later. Maybe they're just going to buy out his contract, or maybe there's an agreement that, hey, let's just go our separate ways, we leave stuff here, and just wish each other best on our future endeavors kind of thing. But hopefully, obviously before Mania would be nice. Unfortunately, probably not, for being real. But hopefully this year, by Hopefully by at least after or after Mania, I would say. That would be my guess.
Yeah, I don't even really mind him being solo right now. I think that could even work out for the best for him because he could build up a fan base, kind of get stuff going, and then one day when he's having some big beat down on him, he'll have the big save from Ray Phoenix, and it'll pop a lot more. It'll mean a lot more. Yeah, maybe he'll win some singles gold along the way before Phoenix gets here, but hopefully he'll be here before the end of the year sometime, obviously, and yeah, that'll be an amazing tag team to look out for, singles matches to look out for, and no telling what else we'll see from this.
Yeah, I mean, there's endless possibilities for the tag team of them, while also being solo matches between the two. Obviously, I think the big match as a tag team, probably the Usos would be a really fun match. Just two sets of brothers going at it in the ring would be really fun. I think DIY would be amazing. MCMG would be amazing. Profits would be amazing. There's so many good matches you can have as a tag team. But for now, we're stuck with the singles, and I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah, but we're going to go ahead and end this video off here. Let us know what is your favorite Penta match coming in WWE, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.